Joining me today is New Hampshire Executive Councilor Chris Sununu, who's running for the governor in the state. Chris, thanks so much for being here.
Thank you. Pleasure.
I like, for the people, the politicians that are running for office, I'd like to start out with a chance getting to know you, sort of in general, how you got to where you are, and really more importantly, sort of, you know, why you're running for, in this case, the governor's race.
Sure. Well, I appreciate the time. So I grew up in Salem, New Hampshire. I'm a New Hampshire native. I'm an engineer. I graduated from MIT, and I was a civil and environmental engineer for many years. I spent my time kind of traveling the country, cleaning up hazardous waste sites, soil and groundwater hazardous waste sites. After about 10 years or so of that, got more into the business side of things. I was business consulting. I worked with my brothers in our own small business. And then in 2010, I put together a group of investors, and we bought Waterville Valley Resort, a place that my family has just grown to love. It's a true New Hampshire treasure. It was being run by a company out in California, and like many things, I think New Hampshire simply does things better than folks in New Hampshire do it better than folks from out of state. So we were one of the first groups to relocalize a major resort. We took it back under local ownership, and we've been doing great ever since. And even given the tough winter we had this year, we're actually doing pretty well.
Last winter was easy to do great. This winter was tough to do great.
It was tough, but you know, look, I have 700 employees up there, and in all the aspects of what we do, whether it's the downhill skiing or the Nordic or all the ice skating and the golf and the tennis, everything we have to offer, you got to manage, you know, and you really need to work directly with your people. We're a family resort. We really try very hard in focusing on our customer service aspect. We're working on some expansion projects, so it keeps us very busy, but it's a tough business. We're a combination of a farmer in that we're stuck to the weather, and a manufacturer in that we have high electricity rates and equipment skill sets that we need, heavy equipment that we use all the time. So it's really a combination of a lot of what you see in New Hampshire, and you know, it's kept me on the front lines of the issues, and that really gets to why I'm running for governor. I'm an executive at the same time. In 2010, you might know I became an executive counselor. Yeah, executive counselor from District 3. I live in the southeast part of the state, just outside of Exeter, New Hampshire, with my wife and 3 kids in a small town called Newfields. And I commute up to Waterville. You know, when I was the general manager, I was doing that every day, and it's really a labor of love. But you know, with what I see in Concord, I mean, the Executive Council really provides an oversight to the executive branch, and we work very closely with the governor and all the leadership within Concord. And then, you know, we would talk about policies or positions or contracts, whatever it might be, in Concord in the morning. But then I was back in the afternoon at Waterville Valley, and really trying to explain to those folks what the new policies and what where the state was going really meant to them in their lives. And that's when I realized that's what we're missing in Concord. We have both Republicans and Democrats, very well-intentioned folks. But you need to understand how policy is truly impacting people's lives. And the only way to do that is to be on the front lines of these issues. So whether you're talking about the overregulation in this state onto our businesses, which is prevalent in virtually every business around here, and we have to pull back on a lot of those things because we're stifling business. I really believe that. Whether you're talking about long-term energy policy, Obamacare, minimum wage, pick any issue you want. Those are things that directly impact my business and, more importantly, my family, my employees. I talk a lot about education. A big part of what I'm running is on education. I'm a dad. I have a fourth grader and a fifth grader. I have a 3-year-old in the public schools. And you know, you can talk Common Core all you want. I'm living it every single day as a parent. Simply as a parent, and observing how it's affecting our classrooms, how it's affecting our education. I'm a huge believer in local control. That's a very cherished thing, and that is what made New Hampshire so great in the first place. We're losing it. If we haven't lost it already, we really are. You know, we can go into some examples, but you know, Washington, D.C. has too much control in our lives right now. And I don't know about you, but when New Hampshire does it New Hampshire ways, we do it better than everybody else. We need a governor in the executive office that has some business experience, that has leadership, understands how the government works, but can provide clear, decisive action and start pushing Washington out of New Hampshire, taking back Concord, doing things a little differently, frankly a lot differently than what we've seen in Concord, shake things up a little bit, and get New Hampshire back to what made us great.
Well, thanks. We're actually just about out of time in that segment, but what's one thing that would make us great?
We need to get our economy going again. We need an executive in the corner office. I don't believe in running the government like a business, but you need business leadership to attract businesses, to retain businesses. We are losing them in droves, and that means we're losing our workforce in droves. That 20 to 35-year-old, that workforce, that piece of our workforce that is going to keep our entire economy moving forward and driving forward, we're losing that aspect. You need business leadership in the corner office that knows how to retain, talk to businesses, and grow businesses to get all the other aspects of our economy in our state moving again.
Great. So, right, we're out of time now, but that's exactly what we'll talk about. In our next segment, we'll be focused on business issues and economic issues, so please stay with us.